Hello everyone. This video is on the Knewton Alta assignment for section 3.4 part 2 called Area and Perimeter of Rectangles. So in this video I'm going to be going over a preview version of this assignment. So please understand that the questions I see in this video may not be the same questions that you see when you work on the assignment yourself. But the objectives are the same, the structure is similar, so I'm hoping that watching me do these here help you in some way when you work on the assignment on your own. Alright, so on your assignment page you should be seeing the title, the mastery bar telling you how far along you've gotten, your objectives. It looks like there are 2 objectives for this assignment. And then under the current objective there's a question related to that objective. And at the bottom of every question you should be seeing a feedback button where you can send feedback to Knewton if you wish. You will not have this instructor cheat button. It's for instructors only. But you will have a more instruction button. If you're ever struggling with a topic, try clicking on this and you'll be taken to a page with some reading to do and videos to watch, maybe both, and questions related to that instruction, and completing those questions will progress you through the assignment. Alright, so the first objective I'm seeing is solve problems involving the perimeter and area of rectangles. Alright, so rectangles are 4-sided figures, things called quadrilaterals, 4-sided figures with 4 right angles. Alright, and I'm sure you've seen rectangles before, but so here's a generic rectangle, and again 4 right angles. Now if you pick a side, say this horizontal side down here, you can call that the length or the width. It doesn't really matter as long as you pick a word. So let's say I'm going to call this the length of the rectangle. And very often that's just, they use the letter L for length. And the nice thing about rectangles is if one side's called L, has a length of L units, the opposite side also has that same length. So the opposite side would also be L units long. And then sides perpendicular to that we'll call the width of the rectangle. And if you called the horizontal the width and the vertical the length, it really doesn't matter. Alright, I don't really care, because you get the same results either way. And we'll call the width, W units for width, obviously. And once again, if this vertical side here is called, W units long, the opposite side also has the same length of W units. Right? Now the perimeter is pretty simple, right? We've seen perimeter for triangles in section 3.4 part 1. Remember, the perimeter is just the sum of all the lengths of the sides. So W plus L plus W plus L. In other words, 2 W's plus 2 L's. All right, so there's an expression representing the perimeter of a rectangle. 2 times the width plus 2 times the length. And the area, right, how much space it takes up inside, right? The area of a rectangle is just the length times the width. Width times the length. L times W. And this would be in square units, square inches, square feet, square miles. Whereas perimeter is just in singular units, regular units, feet, inches, miles, no square, right? And that's all you're going to need to remember. All you're going to need to know to be able to solve problems in this particular assignment. All right. Now, this first question I'm given, it says the length of a rectangle is 13 inches and the width is 39 inches. What is the perimeter? So the first example we're given, now I'll draw a picture for this first one at least. They said one of the sides is 13 inches, right, so the opposite side would also be 13 inches, and then the other side, the width is 39 inches, right? And then the opposite side would also be 39 inches, and they're saying what is the perimeter? Again, very simple. It's 2 times 13 plus 2 times 39. Right? And then we just add this stuff up, right? Multiply and add. Now 13 and 13, 2 times 13, that's 26 inches. 2 times 39, or 39 plus 39, that's 78 inches. And then 26 plus 78 is 90 plus 14, that's 104 inches. And there's your perimeter. Now the nice thing is they already have the word inches written for you, right? They have the units there already. You just have to put the number, right? So the perimeter would be 104, twice the length plus twice the width equals the perimeter. Then after you submit an answer, right, it'll tell you whether you're correct or incorrect. And they drew the rectangle the other way with a different orientation, but still it's the same picture, just twisted around, rotated around. But they'll tell you whether you're right or wrong, and then they give you some sort of answer explanation. Please read through these answer explanations just to make sure you understand why something was correct or incorrect, and hopefully you can learn from your mistakes for future questions. Alright, so the next question, sticking with the same objective. So we're given the width of a rectangle is 1.8 meters, and we're told the perimeter, the sum of all the sides, is 6.6 meters. We're asked for the length, which I'll call L again. All right, so once again, I'll just same page here, just flip it over, and I'll draw another picture. All right, why not? So here's a rectangle, and they say the width, so I'll say this is the width here. This vertical side is W, that's 1.8 meters. And the other side would also be 1.8 meters. I'll just write 1.8 over there. And then we don't know the length. We don't know the length, right? Both of these sides would be L units long, right? But they tell us the perimeter is 6.6 meters. So let's put M for meters. So 6.6, right, that would be the left side of this equation, this perimeter formula, equals twice the width, right, 2 times 1.8, plus twice the length, right, L plus L, 2 times L. And then we have an equation here that we can solve for L. So I'll stick with the 6.6 on the left side. Now 2 times 1.8 is 3.6. Then plus 2L. And we subtract 3.6, that'll leave me with just 3 on the left side, equals 2L. And then dividing by 2, L equals 3 halves, or 1.5 as a decimal. And that would be meters, right? Everything else was in meters. So this is 1.5 meters down here, and this would be 1.5 meters up here. And if you were to add all those up, 1.5 and 1.5 make 3, 1.8 and 1.8 make 3.6, 3 and 3.6 make a total of 6.6, which is what they told us the perimeter was. So this is the correct length for the rectangle being described. So 1.5 meters is the length. All right, great. Okay, next question. Alright, so this is the other objective. Solve rectangle problems when the width is given in terms of the length. So here we have the perimeter, again a perimeter, alright? The perimeter of a rectangular garden is 196 meters. The width of the garden is 34 meters less than the length. Find the length and the width. Alright, so again I'll draw a little picture. Again, you don't need to draw pictures, but can't hurt. So I have this rectangular garden. Alright, there's a rectangle. And, we have length L, width W. Alright, let's say this size the length, this size the width. Now, this time, we don't know either of them. We know the perimeter. Right? They told us the perimeter. Right? The perimeter is 196 meters. So I'll just say perimeter equals 196. The statement after that is the width is 34 meters less than the length. So I'm going to call the length L, and instead of calling the width W, they say the width equals 34 meters less than the length. So I'll take, it's whatever the length is, minus 34. I hope that makes sense. That's 34 meters, less than the length. All right, and so the other side would also be L minus 34, and then the other side here would also be L, right, if I call the length L. And then I just go to my perimeter formula, right? The left side, the perimeter we know is 196. So I got 196 on the left equals 2 times the width. And the width is this quantity, right? I'm putting this in parentheses. It's got multiple terms. 2 times the width, 2 times the quantity, L minus 34, plus 2 times the length. And then I'm solving this equation here for L. Alright, so I'm going to clear parentheses by distributing the 2 here. So we have 196 equals 2L minus 68 plus 2L. Combining some like terms on the right side, we have 196 equals 4L minus 68. Alright, then I would add 68 to get 264 on the left, and then equals 4L, and then all I would need to do to get L alone is now divide by 4. Alright, so 264 divided by 4 would be 67. No, 4 goes into 24 6 times with 24 left over. It would be 66. My bad. Right? 66 times 4 would be 240 plus 24, 264. So there's L. Right, so this length is 66. The units were in meters. So that's 66 meters. That's 66 meters across from it. And then 66 minus 34 would be 32. Right, so this is 32 meters, and this is 32 meters over here. And if you were to add all these up, right, add 66, take 66 times 2, takes 32 times 2, add them up, you get 196. So the length is 66 meters, and the width is 32 meters, and that's what they were asking for. Right? Now pay attention, right? They got L for length and W for width. Right? Length specifically was 66, and the width specifically was 32. Right? Make sure you don't mix these up. Pay attention to what's what. Great. All right. Next question. All right. So another one from this objective. So it's pretty similar to the last one. We know the perimeter, and we're given the width in terms of the length, right? The width of this rectangular rug is 5 yards more than 4 times the length. Find the length and width. All right, so once again, I'll draw a little picture of a rectangle. keep the little perimeter formula up. Actually, I don't need the perimeter formula up. We know the perimeter now, I hope. Same with the area. Area is length times width. That should be no problem. So yeah, here's a little rectangular rug. Again, this is the length. This is the width. They told us the perimeter is 470 yards. Right. And I'm going to call the length L again. And they told us that the width was 5 yards more, 5 more than 4 times the length. So if I took 4 times the length and then added 5, that would be the width. All right, that's 5 more than 4 times the length. I hope that makes sense. All right, so perimeter is 470, and we know how to calculate this, right? It's twice the width, so 2 times this quantity, 4L plus 5, plus twice the length. And then we solve this for L, and then we can answer, what's the length and width of this rectangle. So I'm clearing parentheses first by distributing. So we have 470 equals 8L plus 10 plus 2L. Well, that's 10L plus 10 on the right side here. And then subtract 10, we'd end up with 10L equals 460, and then dividing by 10 is simple enough. L would be 46. All right. So the length of this is 46 yards, and the width is 4 times 46. All right, 4 times 46 plus 5. Now 4 times 46, that's 160 plus 24, that's 184 plus 5. So that's 189 yards. Right. So length 46 yards, width 189 yards. I mean, that is a giant rug. I mean, a football field is 100 yards long. I think they were just throwing out random numbers here, right? The numbers change from problem to problem, but that is that's a big rug. Anyway, the length we saw is 46 yards, the width 189 yards. Great. All right, next question. Alright, so once again another perimeter problem. Just if I don't for some reason see any area problems, just remember that the area is length times width. Shouldn't be too hard to remember. Yeah, so I'm given another perimeter problem, and I'm given the perimeter is 7.2 feet. The width of the rectangle is 1.2. What's the length? Alright, so let me just go back to my paper. This time I'm not going to draw a picture. We know here, I'll just use P for a perimeter instead of writing it out, equals twice the width plus twice the length. And we know the perimeter, right? They gave us that. That was 7.2 feet equals 2 times the width they gave us is 1.2 feet. And then we just don't know the length, right? So I'm solving this for L. So we have 7.2 equals, and then 2 times 1.2 is 2.4 plus 2L. Then you subtract, 2.4. That'd be 4.8. Right? 7.2 minus 2.4 would be 4.8 equals 2L. And then divide both sides by 2. L equals 2.4. And that was in feet. Right? So the length of this rectangle would be 2.4 feet if all that other information held true. Now they have the word feet there already, right? So I'm just putting the number. Wonderful. Alright. Finally an area problem. Okay. So the area of a rectangle is 1,357 square feet. The length is 59 feet. What is the width? So again, the area, I'll use A for area. The area of a rectangle is simply length times width. They give us the area, 1,357 square feet, equals, they give us the length, 59, times W, right? We just don't know W. And all I'm doing now is dividing by 59. So W equals 1,357 divided by 59. And then just to make things a little quicker here, 1,357 divided by 59 is 23 even. Right. And you could do this by hand, but just to make things a little faster. And this is 23. I did a calculator off to the side. And this is in feet again, right? The width is in feet. Only area is in square feet, right? Square units. So yeah, so width is 23 feet. Simple enough, right? Again, very easy. If you know the area and you know the length, or you know the area and you know the width, just divide those two and you'll get the other thing, right? Divide those two and you'll get the length, or divide those two and you get the width. Alright, so that objective's finished. And it looks like I got 2 more problems based on my progress for this objective. Alright, so here another one where we're given the perimeter, and we're given the length. This time we're given the length in terms of the width. Alright. So again, I'll put the perimeter formula up. 2 times the width plus 2 times the length. They told us the perimeter is 232 feet. And they say the length is, right, the length of the parking lot, this rectangular parking lot they're describing, the length is 36 feet less than the width. So the width minus 36. So I'm going to put this expression in for the length in my perimeter formula. So 232 feet for the perimeter equals twice the width plus twice the length, but the length is being replaced by 36 feet less than the width. And then I solve this equation for W. Right now I have an equation with just a single variable, which should be easy to solve. So I clear parentheses with distributing the 2 here. It'd be 2W plus and then 2W minus 72, which is over here, that's 4W minus 72. And then I would add 72 to get 304 on the left side equals 4W. And then divide both sides by 4, and it'd be 76. Right? W equals 76. Right? Yeah, 4 times 76 is 280 plus 24, 304. So the width is 76 feet. And then the length, remember the length is 36 less than that. 76 minus 36 would be 40 feet. And this is what they want us to enter. It would be a 40 foot by 76 foot rectangle. And again, pay attention. L, the lowercase l is for length, which we said was 40 feet, and the W was 76, so the width. Alright, great. And I probably have just one more of these based on the progress I've made. Alright, so one more, and another parking lot problem is basically the same thing. So again, they give us the perimeter, they say it's 88 meters, and then they say, the length of the parking lot is 3 times the width. So if I'm saying the width is W, the length would be 3W. And then find the length and width. Alright. It's a very similar question. So again, the perimeter formula once again, 2 widths plus 2 lengths, but the length is 3 times the width. So I'm putting in 3W for L instead of L. Right. Perimeter is 88, right? So that replaces P. And then over here we have twice the width plus 2 times the length, but the length again is 3 times the width. So over here I have 2w plus 6w, that's 8w equals 88, so w must be 11, alright, dividing by 8. So the width is 11 feet, and then the length is 3 times that, 33 feet. And this is what they want, right, the dimensions of the rectangle. And again, just pay attention to what's what. L for length, 33, W for width, 11. Alright. Okay. And that should be it for this preview version of this assignment. Now, like I said at the top of the video, the questions I saw here may not be the same questions you see when you work on the assignment yourself, but the objectives are the same, the structure is similar, so I'm hoping that watching me do these here helps you in some way when you're working on them on your own. And thank you very much for watching.